Welcome to the Chris Hatcher Show, presented this week by Blue Cross and Blue Shield. This past Saturday, Samford played the VMI Keydets, another top 20 team. It was a grueling, physical game, and unfortunately, Samford loses the game in overtime, 38-37. Coach, you said in a post-game interview that we just killed ourselves. Too many mistakes, missed opportunities. I'm thinking about a missed field goal at the end of the first half, which would carry some momentum into the halftime. Also, some drop balls to open receivers fourth quarter, and third quarter, having the ball on the 1 yard line, a couple of penalties. Next thing you know, we're on the 20. Just missed opportunities.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Kevin. First of all, I really like the effort and the energy our teams bring into the game each and every week. It is a lack of execution. It's the same old song each week. It's just self-inflicted wounds that are causing us to come up a little short late in the ball game. First of all, though, you got to take your hat off to VMI. They're undefeated, top 20 team. They found a way to win, and they played a great game. But there's just a lot of plays in the first, second, third quarter that if we're able to make, the game's not even close going into the fourth quarter. And that's the frustrating thing. And again, it all starts at the top. With personal accountability for myself and the coaches. And then our players have to have that same accountability to work on the weaknesses that we have in order to improve week to week. And hopefully we can do that as we head into this next game versus the Citadel.
Coach, it was a physical game. A lot of hard hits in that game. Of course, VMI has a physical line, physical running back, and even Udinski is a physical quarterback. Are you worried about your team a little bit this week physically?
We keep a good eye on that. Our strength coach, Zach Mathers, does a great job with keeping me updated on who's beat up and who needs to be monitored. I think we'll be fine. I really do. Now we lost some good players in the game. Ty King went down with an injury. Chris Edmonds went down with injury. Ty Herring went down with injury. Josh Carter went down with injury. I'm sure there's a couple others, but those are the ones that stand out. Now, their status is up in the air going into the next game. But the guys that we do have that didn't get hurt in the game, I think as far as conditioning-wise, I think they'll be okay to play this week.
Well, the offense tallied up 633 total yards in the game. Statistically, that's a great game, particularly against a defense that was leading the league coming into the game. But, Coach, you look at the game, we were in the red zone 5 times in regulation, settled for 4 field goal attempts. Against good teams, top 20 teams, you got to score 6 and not 3.
Well, no question, and those are the things I alluded to at the beginning of the show. We're getting bogged down in the red zone. Part of that is we got to be more aggressive with our play calls down there. And then the second thing is, we got first and goal on the 1. We get an offsides penalty, false start. Then we get a personal foul penalty and have to settle for a kick. We get down there close, we take a sack, have to settle for a kick. And you just can't win games like that when you're having to kick field goals. You just convert on one of those as a touchdown. That game is a 3-score game headed into the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Liam's performance. Obviously, it's worth talking about this week. 37 for 59, 570 yards passing. Liam sets a Samford passing record and also a Southern Conference passing record, all while Doug Hodges is watching from the balcony, whose record was broken. So talk about Liam's performance, SoCon Offensive Player of the Week again. Record-breaking, but it was somewhat bittersweet, I know.
Well, it really was. Again, I thought he played an outstanding game. Always can play better. He knows that if he's watching. He knows how I am. But he did. But we had great protection for the most part. Receivers caught the ball a lot of yards after the catch. Our running backs played well. And then our defense got the ball to the offense a good bit to give them plenty of opportunities. But we had some miscues. We counted up through some misreads and a couple drops. We could have had a close to 713 yards passing when you add those things up. So there's always room for improvement, but that is an awesome record. And talking about bittersweet, the ironic thing is, Duck set the mark against Western Carolina a few years ago in a shootout defeat in Cullowhee. And so maybe we can break some records and win some games at the same time. That's what we'll be shooting for this week.
Let's talk about our defense. Nathan East, 17 total tackles, a great game. Tramarcus Cheeks, 12 tackles, 2 for loss. and an interception as well. Talk about the defense play Saturday.
I thought that we played a good game on there. There was some plays there in the fourth quarter. We had 3 fourth downs that we could have got off the field on that we didn't convert. They out-executed us. But I think we're playing well on that side of the ball. It's just like on the offense, is we got to be more consistent, in the fourth quarter. But those two guys, Cheeks and East, really played a well of the game, along with some other guys. But I was really pleased with their performance. But I'm pleased with their performance every week. Those guys come to play each and every day.
They sure do. Let's go ahead and move ahead. I know you're ready
to get
this game.
Let's do it.
This Saturday, Samford travels to Charleston, South Carolina to take on the Citadel Bulldogs. Last season, these teams played 4 overtimes, with Samford winning 61-55. After a few weeks of physical and emotional games, Coach, are you going to have to kind of coach them up this week for this game?
The Citadel, going to Charleston is a very difficult place to play. Before I got here, going back to 2014, Samford hadn't won, a game in Charleston, since then, was 7 years ago. So it's a tough place to play. I know they're struggling a little bit in their season, but it's always been a very good game. And I was thinking back to my Georgia Southern days, and counting last year, and then a couple years ago we went into overtime. I've been in 3 games against the Citadel for a total of 8 overtimes. A 4 overtime, a triple overtime, and then a 1 overtime. So hopefully we can go over there and get it done in regulation. We probably have set the record for the most overtime games in a consecutive seasons, and we're at the halfway mark of this season.
Of course, Citadel plays that option attack. They're a physical team. They like to run the ball and just shove it down your throat. Defensive line linebackers got to cover those gaps.
Yeah, it's this one, they're traditional option. When we talk about Furman and Wofford, they're a lot more zone option. These guys line up and they are physical and they come right at you. Not something that you see each and every week. So, we're going to have to be really good in the trenches. They really slow the game down. We have to get some 3 and outs, force them into some long yardage situations so that we can get the ball. And offensively, we got to stay on the attack for 4 quarters this week.
Well, kickoff against the Citadel is scheduled for 1 p.m. Eastern Time at Johnson Haygood Stadium in Charleston, South Carolina. The game will, of course, be televised again on ESPN+. We hope that you will tune in to see Samford play the Citadel. Once again, we thank you for joining us for the Chris Hatcher Show, presented this week by Blue Cross Blue Shield.